variances at the house, so it's just at her house. I'm like, well,
So is it, what about your dad? Is it just your
he
mom?
passed away 4 years ago,
I'm sorry.
so,
Yeah,
yeah, no, thank you. It's-
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no.
No, I
issue
was
by
blessed that
yourself?
way because I didn't have to take my father's car keys. I would not have looked.
Oh,
like
we
you
did.
know, my father.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
There was no taking those keys.
This is what, oh, tell him, he wants you to take a test.
Yeah.
Oh, my
And you tell
goodness.
them, and
He
that's
would
how you do
have
it.
told him,
Yeah.
yeah, what to do.
Yeah.
I used to play tennis.
My dad still blames Bonnie Faulkner, even though Bonnie didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Bonnie Faulkner did it.
He was quite a father's, when we were out in Cleveland Clinic out there, his pet answer, I was with him for a month, 28 days out there. And you come in, the doctor would come in. and says,
Just send it to you.
"Hey, did you ever smoke?"
Thank you.
He'd look at him and go, I was a Marine.
Of course.
That's not the question.
Now you know the answer.
John, I've got 4 o'clock and and we do have a quorum. Is Cheryl on? I see the little blue arrow. Is that, can you?
She's not on.
Okay, but we have quorum
We do have
for the
quorum.
purposes of the meeting.
Okay. Thank you all for joining us at this special meeting of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency of March 22nd, 2022. Looking at this time for anybody wishing to speak on any matter concerning, I guess, the agency or this topic, feel free to state your name and address for the record. And please limit your comments to 5 minutes if possible. Would anybody like to speak? No hands up. Moving on to item number 3, resolution accepting an application from 4301 Watson Boulevard LLC, the company, for a leaseback transaction to facilitate the financing of the demolition, construction, and equipping of the building located at 4301 Watson Boulevard in the Town of Union, Broome County, New York, to provide a sales and use tax exemption benefit in an amount not to exceed $1,754,866, to provide for a mortgage tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $395,767, to provide for a real property tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $559,922, and authorizing the agency to set and conduct a public hearing with respect thereto. So keep in mind, this was brought up at our regular board meeting last week because we did not have sufficient time to truly review the materials. We decided that it would be better to hold a special meeting, give the board members a chance to look at the documents. And now I'm going to hand it off to Stacy, who can give us background on it and maybe the developers if they're participating.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to the board for making time to do this special meeting. It is exciting to bring this project to the stage where we're in, which is to just accept the application for the purposes of doing our more public due diligence and setting a public hearing date, ultimately considering benefits. So this project includes the redevelopment of the former IBM Country Club, which the Broome County LDC is now a proud owner of. The proposed development by Conifer Realty and LaChase Construction will include the demolition of the current structure at the site and the construction of a new double-loaded corridor apartment building. Project renderings have been included in your packet. The proposed development will create 75 new mixed income apartments affordable to families earning between 30 and 90% of the area median incomes. We expect on this project rents will range somewhere from this $700 range to capping potentially below or around $1,000. The 3-story double-loaded corridor elevator building will be approximately 35 feet tall and contain 18 one-bedroom apartments, 38 two-bedroom apartments, and 19 three-bedroom apartments. Vehicular access will be provided off of Watson Boulevard with the parking lots on both ends of the building. The central drive connecting the lots will provide a drop-off area. in front of the main entrance, and it will also provide ADA accessible parking. There is a set aside that some of the units will be set aside for those with a disability. Conifer Realty has already been in touch with Springbrook and is talking with others potentially on a partnership there for management of those apartments. The proposed developments will be constructed as a wood frame structure that will hold all 75 apartments, as well as communal amenities such as a fitness center, community room with kitchenette, laundry facilities, outdoor patio, and playground. There will be on-site management and maintenance. Conifer does manage their properties. They are also in communication with the town on some area. I believe it's to the west, the west corner, southwest corner of this site, to do some green spacing in partnership with the town that would be available to the community and the surrounding neighborhood. There, you also have in your packet one of our new form of cost benefit analysis, which provides you an example of the economic impact over the life of the pilot. If you turn to page, I think it's the last page of that document, at the bottom, you'll see that a benefit to the public is estimated over the life of the pilot at $33,120,619 at a public cost of just shy of 2.7 million. So it has a strong ratio of 12-1 as far as public benefit to the benefits received. The pilot structure, as I noted last week, is with our new standard affordable housing schedule, where we look at the pilot at 10% of the sheltered rents. Those are the restrictions that the project will have per New York state law in order to receive the tax credits. It does have an estimated real estate property tax savings of about $560,000. And as well, I think that was it, actually. I did speak with HCR on this project. They are aware of the project. They speak very highly of Conifer Realty. They like the location of this project in a high-performing school district. And so next steps for today for the board would be to accept the application. This would enable Conifer Realty to finalize their application to New York State Homes and Community Renewal for low-income housing tax credits, or LIHTCs. That is due by the end of this month. We expect on a good side, in a maybe an expeditious timeline, that the state may come back with a determination of financing on the tax credit side as early as summer, in which case we will be able to advance the process further. So with that, I do have Michael Berkby representing Conifer Realty on the call, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
So from the board, any questions for Stacy or Michael?
County give them money for the demolition.
Yes, there's $2 million. So when we issued the RFP, we issued it the second time around with an amount of up to $2 million that could be allocated towards the project. This is included in their pro forma, and I should note that we are working with the National Development Council on reviewing all of the project pro formas. It does include the $2 million, which will likely, I think next steps are to figure out the demolition process of the existing building. When does that $2 million was essentially set aside for site development. So the question is just how quickly can we get the building?
So should the cost be the 4.6? 2.6?
That is in the cost benefit analysis.
Yeah, that's not represented in the cost benefit.
No, it is represented.
Project cost.
It's in the project cost, but I see what you're saying. You're saying it's a
But I mean,
public
that's
benefit.
deceiving, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah, we
Yes,
can,
it is.
yeah,
So
we can
they're
update
getting
that.
4.6.
Right, in
Which
addition
makes us
to
all
the
the ones
tax
something different.
exemptions. Yep. So we can adjust that. Absolutely.
Because
Good,
that's a
thank you.
grant, right?
It
They get
is.
it and it's a grant, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We can adjust that and modify that cost benefit accordingly.
If it's already out of the construction cost, meaning it's a net, so you gotta adjust it on both sides of of the transaction, right, Stace? Okay. Good catch, Dan. Very, very
Yes,
good
thank
point.
you.
Any additional questions for Stacy or for Mike from the board?
Well, on the timeline, so this is like the proposal they gave us, this is like pushing it way ahead, right? I mean, because when I was looking at it, they were gonna go to the HCR in August of 2022.
That's when we expect, Michael, correct? Is that when you expect a potential determination of financing in August of 2022? But the application deadline is March 31
Okay,
of this
yep.
year. Yeah.
Because then it's got construction in December of 2023. So that's like 18 months away, is that right? more.
Yes, we expect per our purchase contract agreement, we would close by end of 2023, I believe is what we
Oh, I
have
see.
in
'Cause
there.
Everything's got to be. in place.
Yeah,
Got it.
so
Okay,
we would
but they
have,
a
yeah.
right to extend.
They have a right to extend, yeah, we've
Okay.
offered a right to
2024.
extend into 2024, but timeline is, we just secured the closing. We did receive a condemnation letter from Delta Engineers. We are now finalizing the purchase contract agreement, which does state closing sometime on or around December 2023 with potential for extension if necessary. On Conifer's end, the timeline is get application in by the end of March per New York State guidelines. And I think they just issued that RFP not that long ago. It's a quick turnaround from New York State's perspective. And then anticipated determination, late summer, mid to late summer, and that's an expeditious timeline with New York State. So, and then the things we're working and communicating with Conifer on is who will do the demolition? Will we as owners do that? It does affect, potentially the grant dollars as well if the LDC as owner ends up doing that. So those are a few things we're still working out in the process. Because the property it is deteriorating quickly.
So if we did it though, would we get the 2 million?
We
to
would
do it?
utilize those
So that
funds,
2
and that's
million goes to
probably
whoever's
why
gonna
on the
do it.
cost benefit, yeah,
Not yet, you're right.
yeah. So we're,
At the end of the day, it's still.
it's still a public, it's still a
Yes.
benefit. There's still an
They're still
incentive
getting
into the
site review
project.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Without the building there.
absolutely.
Okay, we do.
Yeah,
And Joe, in fairness, Joe, to the developer, because I'm in this same game, as you know, the state's targets seem to move pretty regularly. So what we were expecting is an application deadline last November just came out at the end of February and is due at the end of March. At one point, they even indicated that there would be more than 2 rounds per year, and at the rate they're going, quite frankly, it'll be a stretch to get 2 rounds in this year. So in
That was
fairness,
part of
the timeline is moving not by choice.
yeah. And that was part of the reason for the sort of expediting this application was, that RFP came out at the end of February. They basically have a month to prepare all the docs, which includes our purchase agreement, our completed application for benefits with at minimum an inducement resolution. So that's the purpose of today, is to get them to their inducement resolution
To
so
get
they
it
can,
moving.
submit
Because in
the
here it said like
application.
a pilot approval was anticipated for March of 2023, but.
Yeah, no,
everything's
yeah,
pushed forward.
right. And
Okay, I
there's,
got it. I
yeah,
got it.
so,
Yep.
right. So this is just kind of sets the process. So anytime after today, theoretically, we can schedule a public hearing. That could be next month, it could be months away.
Yep.
As we continue
Okay.
to navigate the project.
Any other questions for the developer or for Stacy on this project?
I got one question. After it's built, they have a management team that runs the facility then, right? To make sure it stays nice and
Yeah,
to getting run it up and everything. So that's part of their business.
yeah, Conifer does, they do their own management. It depends, some developers will lease, will
Hire out.
outsource the
they do
management,
their
but
own.
they do their own.
Okay,
in-house.
that's good. Yeah,
And they retain ownership of the properties as well.
good.
Once again, any additional questions? Okay, with that in mind, I'm looking for a motion to move forward with this. Is there a motion?
Jim,
Thank you, Jim. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joe. Any additional discussion? We'll have a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Looking for a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Double Dan.
Double Dan.
Double Dan.
Double Dan.
Chuck took that one so long.
Yeah.
Was there a motion there?
Yeah.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you all for accommodating this. We will see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Aye, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.